Hey there, and welcome to Juicy Celeb Talks. Lauryn Hill was once one of the most celebrated names in the world, and today it seems Hollywood is on a mission to recruit her to speak the truth about the industry. What I mean is that we're dealing with reality here. We need to address the fact that we, as a society, often compromise our values. Right now, let's focus on how we, as a society, need to prioritize mastering math and science to gain economic power. We need to confront the internal compromises we make and eliminate them from our lives entirely. We continue to compromise, much like the white man. When you say the white man took everything from me, you're actually giving him credit for everything you do have. Recently, Lauryn Hill garnered attention for her remarks on integrity and her enigmatic second album during a tour stop in Los Angeles, California, commemorating the 25th anniversary of her debut album, The Miseducation of Lauren Hill. She acknowledged her lateness, but didn't just apologize, she also made thought-provoking comments on her musical journey and mindset. Now, what do we do once we find the solution? The solution is, like my man said, you have to be true to yourself, she declared. According to Hill, her fans should feel privileged that she graced the stage that evening, attributing her performance to divine support. She emphasized the importance of family and community support, citing her experience with a lack of backing for her sophomore album. She also revealed that no one approached her about a follow-up to her debut solo album. Fans have long complained about Hill's inconsistent show attendance and sporadic releases, despite her undeniable talent. These factors have contributed to her mystique in the industry. How did this respected artist, who had such massive success with her debut record, find herself in this situation? Hill soared to the top of the music charts in 1998 with the release of The Miseducation, which opened at number 1 and sold a remarkable 422,000 copies in its first week, breaking records for female artists at the time. It went on to win numerous awards, including 5 Grammys, 3 American Music Awards, and accolades from Billboard, Soul Train, and MTV. Opportunities knocked on Lauryn Hill's door from all directions: film deals, magazine covers, and more. She wasn't just a rising global star, she seemed poised to lead us into the 21st century artistically. But then things took a turn for the worse. How could someone with such a monumental career trajectory suddenly disappear from the spotlight, becoming one of the music industry's greatest enigmas? Hill met Pierre Michel and Wyclef Jean's cousin while attending Columbia High School in New Jersey, and they co-founded the Fugees while honing their skills at local performances and talent contests. Hill dabbled in acting, landing roles on As the World Turns and Sister Act 2, but eventually shifted from Hollywood to further her education, enrolling at Columbia University in New York City in 1993. The Fugees' debut album was released in 1994 but failed to make waves initially, receiving mixed reviews from critics. However, their fortunes changed 2 years later with the release of their sophomore album, The Score, propelled by hit songs like Ready or Not and Killing Me Softly. The album topped the Billboard 200 chart and remained in the top 10 for 6 months, selling 7 million copies in the United States alone and over 20 million worldwide. Despite their success, the group disbanded in 1997, just a year after the release of The Score, due to internal conflicts. Lauryn Hill's debut solo album was her primary focus in 1998. According to insiders, she aimed for hits to surpass the Fugees and Wyclef in terms of success. Despite the immense success of The Score in 1996, which sold over 17 million copies, Hill believed there was more to achieve, with Wyclef being considered the group's musical genius. Not content to ride on the group's coattails, Hill aimed to carve her own path. According to Roots drummer Amir Thompson, her solo career was about more than just releasing an album, it was about breaking free from the Fugees' shadow. When The Miseducation of Lauren Hill was released, it captivated audiences worldwide, selling 12 million copies and establishing Hill as one of the most significant female rappers, showcasing not only her skills as a rapper but also as a singer, songwriter, and producer. Critics lauded her, and the money poured in. By estimates, Hill earned around $25 million in 1998 and $1,999 from various sources, including royalties, touring, and merchandise. By the age of 13, Hill had set her sights on success, and by 1998, she had become a global icon. Hollywood came knocking with enticing offers, including roles in blockbusters like Charlie's Angels and The Matrix. Despite the allure, Hill declined several prospects, leading PR Michelle of the Fugees to remark that Lauren wasn't trying to do anything, she was complaining about wasted opportunities. However, she did consider projects like a Bob Marley biopic and the romantic comedy Sauce. She even accepted a role in the adaptation of Toni Morrison's Beloved but had to withdraw due to pregnancy. With opportunities to establish herself as a cultural force like J. Lo or Madonna, Hill could have been a powerhouse with substance. Despite her early success and various prospects, Hill gradually faded from the spotlight. A friend stated that she grew frustrated with the fabricated image of an international superstar who was continuously pressured to maintain perfection. Hill eventually reached a breaking point and decided to walk away, declaring, "EFF it." Artists, she argued, are more calculating than most people realize, with every aspect carefully considered. For Hill, the weight of success became too much to bear, prompting her to retreat from the spotlight. She shared her struggles with fame during a 2002 performance, stating, "I used to really be an entertainer, and I don't consider myself an entertainer anymore." She confessed that she had created a public persona, a public illusion, which kept her locked down. She couldn't be a real person because she was too afraid of what the public would say. She acknowledged that she had to undergo a transformation. During a 2003 concert in Vatican City, Hill addressed Catholic priests, drawing criticism despite standing by her words. Her relationship with Rohan Marley also faced public scrutiny, with investigations into their history casting doubt on her earlier song To Zion, which seemed naive or duplicitous in light of revelations. Hill's association with Brother Anthony also drew attention, and he was described by some as a cult figure.
In a candid interview in 2013, Hill emphasized her post-debut journey, revealing, "The wild thing is nobody from my label has ever called me and asked what we could do for you make another album or anything like that." She felt there was no precedent after the Miseducation. She was free to explore, experiment, and express herself. However, following the Miseducation, she faced numerous obstacles, with politics, stifled creativity, and unfair expectations hindering her progress. People included her in their narratives of success related to her album, and if this contradicted her experience, she was deemed an adversary. Hill's musical output became almost non-existent. In 2003, she reportedly worked on her second album, with Columbia contributing $2.5 million to support it. They even set up a studio in her Miami apartment and covered expenses for other artists to contribute. However, the project hit a snag, with artists left waiting in hotels due to delays from Hill's team. Eventually, Columbia pulled the plug, leaving the album unfinished. A source revealed Lauryn Hill couldn't drive some of a mile to the studio. Columbia bent over backwards for her in pure personal commitment, and I think they still believe in her. But you can't abuse the system like that. You can't do that. There were also reports that when artists inquired about payment for their work, Hill replied, "Do it for God," essentially expecting them to work for free. Hill's career has been marked by inconsistent singles, a spell in prison for tax evasion, frequent lineup changes, and several tours. She even attempted a reunion with the Fugees, but the tour was cancelled due to conflicts among the members, reportedly exacerbated by Hill's insistence on being referred to as Miss Hill by everyone on the tour, as well as her reputation for tardiness at shows, which persisted from the early 2000s to the present day. By 2007, Hill was already on the solo circuit, but her performances elicited mixed feelings among audiences. Some were puzzled by her unconventional takes on old songs, her eccentric wardrobe choices, and, well, her penchant for being fashionably late, sometimes by just a few minutes, other times by a whopping 2 hours. Addressing her chronic lateness in a 2016 Facebook post, Hill explained that it wasn't about disrespecting her fans or the music. "I don't show up late to shows because I don't care," she affirmed. "I have only love and respect for my fans. The challenge is balancing my energy with the time, taking something that isn't easily categorized or contained, and trying to make it accessible for others. I don't have an on/off switch."
She continued, "For every performance that I've shown up to late, there have been countless others where I've performed more than 2 hours past what I'm contracted to do, pouring out all that on the stage. It's really quite meaningful." Additionally, health conditions disrupted some of her plans. For instance, a show in Europe had to be cancelled in 2009 after she collapsed on stage. Lauryn Hill's image has undergone a significant transformation since her prime in the 1990s. Once hailed, she's now often portrayed as an artist who can't muster enough willpower to care, with personal issues overshadowing everything else. Memes and jokes about her ongoing lateness and diva behavior only fuel the fire. Throughout all this, she spent significant periods away from the public eye, focusing on raising her children and occasionally releasing new music that didn't always meet fans' expectations. Yet, amid the criticism, there are still those who steadfastly support Hill. They don't mind waiting for her, considering her performances and music releases have become increasingly rare. In a heartfelt 2016 Facebook post, Hill addressed the issue head-on, pointing out that, despite her tardiness, there are fans who stick around even longer to connect with her after the show. "Our challenge is to figure out the most effective way to accommodate the vitality, spontaneity, and spirit that make the performances worthwhile and unique in the first place," she wrote. "If I didn't love and respect the art, I wouldn't do this. The audience and I should have that in common." So it's not surprising that Lauryn Hill doesn't hold the same beloved status for the current generation as she did for those who grew up in the 90s. Time marches on, and younger fans have their own set of musical icons to adore and explore. Some view the Miseducation as a relic of the earnest 1990s, with its warnings against things like hair weaves and fake nails reflecting the hypocrisy often seen in one's mid-20s. Yet, despite its age, the Miseducation still resonates as powerful art, even if some of its themes may feel outdated. Critics often point out that Hill has only released one studio album, but that shouldn't diminish her cultural impact. After all, artists like Patti Smith and Lauryn Hill also had relatively small discographies, yet their influence remained significant. The Miseducation stands as a timeless record of Hill's personal struggles and her reflection on the world around her. For many who came of age in the 1990s, it captured the essence of life during the turn of the century. And for Hill herself, it remains a poignant depiction of her youth. As she stated in a press release for the album's 20th anniversary tour, "This album chronicled an intimate part of my young existence. It was the summation of the majority of my most hopeful and positive emotions to that date. I loved and trusted deeply in the community's ability to both love and heal itself, given that it received the right amount of support and encouragement. Our world today, both complex and evolving, is in need of a balance between moral courage and therapeutic expression. I hope the love and passion that saturated this work can continue to inspire change, with love and optimism leading the way." Most recently, at Coachella, what started as YG Marley's midday set on the main stage turned into a star-studded affair. Around 15 minutes into his performance, Marley surprised the crowd by bringing out his mother, Lauryn Hill, who then took over the stage with a lineup of special guests. Miss Hill, rocking a vibrant yellow suit, treated fans to her mini-set, belting out classics like X Factor and Lost Ones. She even got nostalgic with a Fugees favorite, Killing Me Softly, and was joined by her former bandmate Wyclef Jean for a partial reunion. Together, they enchanted the crowd with a rendition of Fugees' hit Fugees La and then brought out Busta Rhymes and his friend Spliff Star for some extra flair. Busta surprised with Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See from Chris Brown's Look at Me Now, showcasing his talent on stage. They honored YG's grandfather, Bob Marley, by mixing in bits of his iconic tracks like One Love and Exodus. Jean rallied the crowd, urging them to put their hands in the air if they wanted to end the world's wars, as Marley's war played in the background. After YG made his way through the crowd to show love to the enthusiastic audience, he returned to join his mother and Jean for a rendition of Ready or Not, filling in for Wyclef. "When you put YG Marley and the Fugees together, this is what it looks like," commented Jean. YG even treated fans to a cover of Bob Marley's Is This Love before performing Praise Jah in the Evening Glow, a track he first unveiled at one of Miss Hill's shows in November 2023 before officially releasing it a month later. And that's all for the video, folks. Thanks for watching.